What's up everyone, welcome back to the fish room. Slowly starting to look nice in here, but also very messy at the same time because I've been doing a lot of work on the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀 contest tank, which is right there. Can't really show it to you, but we're working on it and soon that tank is going to be done and you guys will see it. But we've worked on this tank now, tank number 1. I've lowered the lighting on this tank, try to get this hair algae gone. It is growing a little bit, but I think soon we should get it all cleared out. You can see how nice it's looking though. All the plants in here, so vibrant. Really one of my favorite tanks here. And we still need to add a couple more fish in here. I do want to add more rainbow fish. I'm still working on getting some of the rainbow fish I want. And also I'm thinking of getting a Siamese algae eater to help control the algae, and many of you suggested that too. Then next up we worked on this tank, the 2-foot nature style aquarium with all the stem plants like just planted everywhere and some driftwood. We've got the gold tetras. This is one of my favorite tanks. The plants are starting to maybe grow back slowly, maybe not yet, it's still too early, but yeah, we did a heavy trimming on this and now we just have to wait for it to grow back. But I prepared some food here for the gold tetras. It's kind of tough doing this with one hand, but you can see how fast they all react to food. Let's put a little bit more in there. So grab a little pinch and yeah. Look at them. These guys are amazing. They've become one of my favorite fish, and I say that in like almost every video now, but they're just insane. I love these fish. You can see we've got the pink flamingo crypts down there. All the plants seem to be doing okay. Now today though, we've got to work on that tank right there. Or this tank. This tank today. Then next up we work on that tank, the green water tank. But today we're doing this tank right here. This is the blue-green algae tank, or cyanobacteria. It's completely nasty. It smells bad, but it doesn't do any harm to the fish. We do have 2 angelfish in here. This is a pair. They are kind of skittish right now, but they're a nice looking pair. These are the red head or red shoulder 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝗀 angelfish, and they're beautiful fish. The cool thing is this is a male-female pair. They've laid eggs already. They've laid eggs on the filter pipe right here. Let me roll the clip to that. So there you could see we got the eggs to the wiggler stage. The eggs were like wiggling, almost just about to hatch, but these parents ate them. Well, and I don't blame them for that. They're still new parents. They're not even a year old yet, so they're gonna have many more chances to lay eggs. And look at this guy. This guy is awesome. Man, this is one reason why I love angelfish. They're so personable. You can play with them. They'll attack you. But yeah, they're really nice fish. But today we're going to move these 2 fish into this tank right here. You can see we've got another pair right here. These guys also laid eggs a few days ago. This is another male-female pair. And then these are some juvenile angelfish, a kind of different type than these. These are the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀 angelfish. These are just regular Peruvian wild angelfish. I'm not so sure exactly what type of angelfish, but they were collected in Peru. They're really beautiful, tall-bodied fish. So today we're going to be taking this group of 8 little juvenile angelfish, move them into that tank. We're going to take that pair and move them into this tank. So I think it's time to begin. I'm not so sure where to begin, but we'll begin somewhere. Okay, I know it's a bit hard to see with all the glare, but I've decided to first empty out the water in this tank, and we're going to take all the angelfish out, put them into this little container, and I'm going to drain this tank too, make the water level low so that it'll be easier to move this rack. I've decided I'm going to move this rack today so that it goes against this stand right here, right next to it. So we have the stand, and then we can finally put this PVC pipe, connect it with the whole loop system around the room. So yeah, this whole thing is going to get connected to there, but before that we gotta move the stand and kind of push it back a little bit so that it lines up with the PVC pipe along that wall. I don't know if you guys kind of understand that, but you'll see later. So I'm currently working on it. Look at all the blue-green algae in there. That's nasty. But yeah, let's get all these fish out and we'll acclimate them into that tank. Alright, some things just don't need to be recorded on video. I've moved this stand. You can see how close it is now. I don't think I'm gonna attach it because in the future I want airline tubing to be able to go down to the bottom, and if this stand is like too close attached, the airline tubing is not gonna be able to go through because one day we're going to have a big tank here, and yeah, it's just a little bit complicated. So all the little angelfish that were in here are now in this little container. If we take a look, I don't want to spook them, but they're all in there, all 8 of them. I'm going to start lowering the water level of this tank, transfer some of this water into this tank, and then I'm going to move this pair of angelfish. This is the same type of angelfish as these guys, so we're gonna have a pair here and a pair here. And yeah, so once we move those guys into this tank, we'll move those little juveniles into that tank. Alright, so I've just moved this pair into this tank. You can see they are a little bit stressed. The colors are darker compared to the guys that have been in this tank longer. So that is kind of normal. But take a look at how good these angelfish look. The red coloration is so amazing. And these 2 pairs have already laid eggs. This pair has got them to the wiggler stage. This one hasn't got it to the wiggler stage. So we'll see who wins the battle of hatching out their own babies. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the reason why I moved this rack backwards is because this PVC pipe system that I built onto the rack, it wasn't lined up with a PVC pipe that was on the wall. So if I wanted to connect it, it wouldn't go straight and it just wouldn't look that nice. So I had to move this back, and now if you take a look from this angle, it's like dead straight on. So we're gonna have the PVC piping lined up and it's gonna look pretty awesome. So now the next step for me is to start cleaning this tank out. I'm going to siphon all this sand out, and we're going to make this a bare bottom tank for the time being. For these angelfish, it's going to be a grow out tank for them, the 8 of them. So we're taking all this out. I'm going to clean this, grab the sand and sunbathe it. I'm not sure, just try to kill all the bacteria that's in it. So yeah, let's siphon all this thing out. Okay, so the angelfish are in the new home. Much bigger setup, much bigger tank. I didn't end up removing all the sand. I just removed the areas that had the blue-green algae. But you can see the angelfish are pretty stressed out right now. They're all towards the back of the tank, and you can see the colors are a little bit dark. It's gonna take some time for them to get used to this new setup. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and take this filter off, and I'll probably put it on the tank down below, because I don't want to turn it off completely. If I turn it off completely, then the bacteria that's in the filter is going to die. So I want to keep that thing running on a separate tank. And once I do that, I'm going to clean up this room because there's a lot of mess everywhere. All my fish food and stuff and all these extra tanks I've got to clean up. So yeah, I'm going to get working on that, and then we'll come back to you and I'll show you the finished results. Well, it's never going to be finished, but I'll show you the end result. It's kind of crazy. As soon as I took this canister filter out of the angelfish tank, these guys are just at the front of the glass, and it's so cool to me how just one tiny little adjustment to a tank can change so much in the behavior of these fish. Like, look at them. They're all so active now, and before they were so skittish. They were all at the back of the tank, and yeah, I just find it cool. What do you guys think? I can't wait for them to get bigger and maybe start to pair off, and then we'll create an amazing tank for these guys. Now, however, it's time to clean this fish room up a little bit, especially this area. That area over there, I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing at, but I've got a whole bunch of fish food that I just want to organize, because I've got fish food scattered around this entire fish room. I've got fish food over there, that red little thing, that's fish food. This is all fish food over here, and then I've got fish food up here as well, just a whole bunch of it. So I'm gonna clean that up, and then I've also got to clean this section up. I've just got my DIY CO2 stuff, CO2 tubing. So yeah, a lot of organization to do. So I'm gonna get back to work and I'll see you guys in a little while. Alright, I say that is slightly better. In the future I'm going to get a board here that will go all the way to the end. This was made for the previous stand that was here. It was much narrower, so yeah, so that's the plan for the future. We're going to have some tanks sitting right here. They're going to be the same dimensions as these 3-footers, except they're going to be 2 foot. So 2 foot by 1.5 foot by 1.5 foot. So yeah, we're going to have 2 of those, one here and one there. And right now, the angelfish have gone back to their hiding spots. I did spook them a little bit. But right here's all my food. The food that I feed my fish. I've kind of got a ton of food. I'm like one of those people who likes to try out different foods. So yeah, I've got a bunch of them. And then over here, these are my 2 pairs of angelfish. The red shoulder angelfish, or the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝘀𝘀. But I'm planning to have this section be like the breeding section. So we're going to have 3 tanks up on this row and 3 of the same tanks down here. So this will be my breeding station. I'm not sure what other fish I'm going to try to breed, but for now I'm doing angelfish as well as these little rainbow fish. And I've already bred a few of them. You see that one guy that went to the back, this little guy there? That is one of the rainbow fish that I've bred. So yeah, it's one of my grow-ups so far, and he's just in this tank. But soon we're going to move these angelfish into a much bigger tank, and we're going to try breeding a bunch of them. And I do have a bunch of little fry hatching out right now in this little container. I'm not sure if you can see them, but there's a whole bunch of fry swimming around in there. Those are the same rainbow fish. So yeah, I'm trying my best. I've got a bunch of rainbow fish in this tank as well. Not everything has been shown on camera just quite yet, but I promise you one day I'll show you guys everything. We'll do a fish room tour of this whole area, and I'll make sure to include every single fish I keep, every single plant I keep, and every single tank I've got in this room. And as much as I'd love to set up more tanks, this area is for a tank in the future. This area down here is also for a tank. That area is for a tank. It's not a cheap hobby, and I wish I could be doing like so much more, setting up more stuff, but I've got to control myself and do it slowly, because it is quite expensive when you set up all these tanks and you got to take care of each one of them. So yeah, I hope you guys understand. The plan for this tank, you guys saw the 8 little angelfish I have. Right now this is just going to be a grow out for them. I'm probably going to remove all the sand in the near future. I just couldn't do it today because well, I could have, but I just didn't. I probably will make this tank neater in the future, and then those angelfish will be set up either here or here in the future. We're going to have an angelfish specific tank, like kind of a biotope or planted one. I'm not so sure. That one, I'll ask you guys in the future whether we should have a planted tank for the angelfish or a biotope style tank. But yeah, those guys over there are either going to be in a tank up here or a tank down there. So as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it wasn't very exciting, like we didn't do much, but it's just like kind of a day in the life, what I do basically, like a vlog style. So fish room vlog, maybe we'll do a few more of these if you guys enjoy this kind of style where I show you guys what I do around the fish room. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.